Hi, and welcome back to the podcast. Today we have Ros Gervay with us, and Ros is a full-time artist who does some amazing, colorful, bright prints, and I'm so excited to be chatting with Ros today. So hi, Ros, and welcome.
Hello, Anna. How are you doing
Hi.
today?
I'm super great. I'm great. Yeah.
Thank you so much for having me on. Really excited to, dive into color with you and talk everything color because obviously that is my world as well.
Yeah. Oh, I can't wait. Lots
Yay.
of juicy things to talk about today. Oh,
So you were just wanting me to do a little intro. So I'll start with
yeah,
that. So
totally.
I'm I'm a modern botanical painter. I'm based in Sydney, Australia, and I have a background in design, also a background in teaching, and now I'm full-time in my art business, which includes teaching elements as well. So it's almost like the dream combo of
Yeah.
all of my things that I have done over my many years. Should we talk that? Should we reveal ages or not?
No. No,
No.
a
All
lady
right.
never reveals her age,
All right.
right?
Shh, shh.
We won't tell anyone. It's all experience. Oh, that's awesome. So all of your worlds have kind of collided into this one epic job that you're now doing. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And it's a really interesting one because for a long time, I sort of felt a little bit bad. Like I felt like I was failing at of these different areas
Mm.
and different phases of my life. But I've come to this point to see actually, no,
Mm.
I've learned amazing things through each part of my history. And now they're all coming together in my art business, and I mentor and coach other artists as well. And so it's just epic. I am more me than I have ever been in my entire life.
Oh, that's
Um,
awesome.
yeah, and this is why I can't just be an artist in myself. This is why I have to help other people as well. Otherwise, I don't know what's the point really for me.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Oh, that's awesome. All right. Well, tell us a little bit more about how you got to where you are now. Like I'd love to hear the whole journey and the story about how you got started because I know, we've talked about me also wanting to become a full-time color pop design, entrepreneur. At the moment it's still my part-time job. So I would love to hear how, you transitioned to that journey to become a full-time artist. So
Yeah,
inspiring.
definitely. I mean, it's not linear. I can tell you that
Mm.
much. I think that's not the reality. I feel like we have this expectation on that, on a transition from one job to your dream job as being
Yeah.
a linear, smooth sailing sort of a situation, and it's not. And I think the key piece in being able to make that transition is actually mindset.
Mm,
Funnily enough, it's not the
mm.
bits and pieces, it's the mindset, because the mindset is the one thing that's going to allow you to learn as you go,
Yeah.
forgive yourself for making mistakes because they will happen, and then to get back up, try again, and keep on persisting towards what you're wanting to achieve. So for
Mm.
your listeners, do you have a lot of teachers in your
Yeah.
listening?
Yeah, for sure. Because 'cause I'm a teacher myself and yeah, yeah. So, yeah, definitely. And I think a lot of our listeners would love to hear how did you make it work? Like, especially when you were still teaching as well. Like if you were running this as a side hustle, is that right? You were doing it as a side project?
Yeah, so very
Yeah.
early days in
Mhm.
my sort of painting sort of, you know, what do you call it? Hobby, I suppose, back
Hobby.
in the
Yeah.
day. Yeah, back in the day. So I
Hmm.
was working part-time in a primary teaching role, and it was a permanent role, but it was part-time. And so I was painting on the side as a side hustle, just as a area of passion, acting actually primarily as a bit of me time because I had two
Mm.
young kids, and through primary teaching we all know, we expend like a lot of
A
energy.
lot. Yep.
A lot, like epic levels of energy, and not just the physical but also the emotional side,
Mm.
right? Because we're making
Mhm.
space for these little kiddos and their journeys as well. So yeah, a lot of energy out, and I needed to have some space for me. And so my mum, I always share, it's my mum,
Yeah.
pushed me to go and sign up to a community art course. And it wasn't so much about learning the painting, because I already had a background in design and I'm a very hands-on creative sort of a person like you.
Yeah.
It was more about carving out that space, that routine space weekly for me to do something for me. So that's how it started.
Yeah.
And then my teacher at the time, who is amazing, her name is Abby Chambers. If anyone wants to go and check her out in her art style, absolutely amazing. She gave me a big nudge to share my art on Instagram. And I was like,
No. That's the scary part, right? It's
totally,
putting it out there. Yeah.
what's everyone going to think? What are they
Mhm.
going to say?
Mm.
What is their judgment going to be of me? Are they going to
Yeah.
think more of me, less of me? Are they going to laugh at me?
Yeah.
What's actually going to happen? Do you remember the first time you shared, some of your creations online?
Oh, yeah, yeah. Well, see, I've done photography as well as a as a side hustle prior to this one.
Mm,
Yeah, it is. It's that fear, the excitement. It's like, oh my God, what am I doing? Who am I to, you know, share this with people? I'm a fake, I'm a phony, I'm a fraud. I'm not a real fashion designer. Like all of those thoughts popped into my mind because
for
I'm
sure.
self-taught for all of like pretty much everything I've done.
Yeah.
Apart from my uni degrees for teaching, everything else, all of the creative stuff has been self-taught. And it's scary putting yourself out there. And you know what, though? Like what you just said before, the fear of judgment. I actually think the only people judging us are ourselves, funnily enough. Don't you think?
It's amazing, and
Mm.
we then project that onto
Yeah.
others and
Yeah.
make everyone else the potential bad guy, when actually it's just ourselves.
Yeah.
We're just hilarious. I think we're
Yeah.
just hilarious. Humans are hilarious, myself included, and
Yeah.
I think we just need to,
Mhm.
feel the fear and then do the thing anyway, right?
Yeah.
It's
Uh-huh.
I
Mhm.
think often we grow up, right? So okay, so when we're kiddos, we are all encouraged to be anything we want to be. Follow our heart. You can be a painter, you can be a gymnast, you can be a whatever you like.
Yeah.
And then there comes this
Mm.
time at towards the end of high school where things start all of a sudden changing and shifting, and our parents, generally speaking, try to move us towards a career that's
Yeah.
going to be safe, going
Mm-hmm.
to have you covered financially, and all of that. And then all of that sort of leading life, with joy, and choosing joy and happiness seems to be put on the back burner. It's like it's less
Yeah.
important somehow.
Yep.
And so, I think that's a really big piece of the puzzle, is knowing that they're still that then comes back around, sorry, when you're a little bit older, when you're like, oh, hang on, this career that I chose for myself is not the right one, this is not bringing me everything I want. And you start to see that no, I'm meant for more, I'm meant for something different, this is not the right fit for me. And we only live once. It's the whole YOLO thing, but it's so
Yeah.
true. We only
Yeah.
have this one opportunity to do something amazing with our only lifespan. And so we almost have a responsibility to go back to those pre-high school days and find that joy again and make
Oh,
decisions from that
100%.
place. I don't
100%
know.
agree. Oh, I couldn't agree with you more. And, like for me, for so long, it's that gap in between the teenage years, motherhood. Like, I don't know, there's like this, it almost feels like 15 years of time or something. For me, it was about that. My son's almost 15. So, yeah, really, like that journey of starting motherhood. And then all of a sudden you switch off who you are and you become mum. And then everything else just gets pushed to the wayside. And you lose yourself a little bit. So yeah, I think for me the creative side of things, like my sewing machine sat in my cupboard for I don't even know how long, a long time, probably 15 years. I don't think I pulled them out at all for years.
Mm,
They've only been out of the cupboard for 4 years.
mm,
And it wasn't until I pulled them back out of the cupboard again that I went, oh my God, I love this. Like this is my thing. Because I've tried all of the different creative things, photography, drawing, painting, crocheting, knitting, not really great at any of those ones.
I can't knit.
No.
I'm too tight. It's always really too tight. Like they get locked on the needles.
And
I'm
then
like,
it like
okay.
becomes this little the only thing I've ever knitted is a scarf. But yeah. Oh, so funny. So yeah, going back to your journey. So at what point, once you were pushed a little bit with sharing your art, what happened then? Like, did you get the
So
judgment like you thought you were going to
no,
get?
no, nothing. Funnily enough,
Nothing
nothing
happened. Yeah.
happened.
Yeah.
Literally nothing happened.
Yeah.
Nobody saw. I think I did have a few likes or something. So there was some sort of something. This, mind you, is an Instagram account with 60 followers way
Yeah.
back when.
Yeah.
Like, so I got a couple of likes, but that was it. But it grew from there, not in terms of necessarily engagement, but in terms of visibility generally, because I kept on sharing. And
Yeah.
so slowly more and more people knew that I was painting. And it basically, it was the start of word of
Mm.
mouth. So I entered an art competition and then was in an exhibition for that. And I invited my family. And so
Yeah.
it's sort of just like that. What do they call it?
Snowball
Snowball
effect.
effect.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the official transition happened probably, I think, a year later when I'm trying to remember, when I took long service leave from my permanent role. I did a little bit of casual teaching as I was trying to build the art up. And then push came to shove and I could not go back to that permanent role. I
Yeah.
couldn't.
Yeah.
I knew it wasn't going to happen. It couldn't happen. I was not going to return to that workplace. Not that there was anything in particular wrong with the workplace, but I did not feel aligned with that position anymore. And
Hmm.
so it was really scary, but
Mm.
I wrote the email and I basically resigned. I still had the option of casual teaching. So that was really nice. And I think as teachers, we're quite lucky in that sense.
Yeah.
We have that option to do that if we need to. And so I did work with that for maybe a year's time, having a bit of
Yep.
casual in the mix, and then eventually just took the punt. Also, push came to shove with accreditation for me. Do you have
Oh,
accreditation
yeah. Yes.
there?
Yes, we do need to stay registered and keep up with our training, professional development, that kind of thing to keep our accreditation. Yeah, I guess, yeah, it does. I've heard from other people who've had a similar experience, and you either have to keep doing that every year, don't you, to stay
Mm-hmm.
in the game, or you kind of make the call and go, that's it. Yep, I'm out.
Totally. And I had to
Yeah,
do that. I'm out because I
yeah,
just knew my heart was not there anymore.
yeah,
And I was making enough income through my art business to be able to do that. The more time as well I could free up from teaching
yeah,
casually, the more energy I could put into my art business and the more of a success I could, make it. So, yes,
yeah,
piece and maybe the stubborn factor as well. If you're really committed to making it happen,
yeah.
um, and if you have this sense that there is no going back,
Mm.
that's like a secret
And I
little
think
piece of the
that's,
puzzle.
yeah, that goes back to mindset, doesn't it? What you were talking about before. That's where I get stuck. And I get stuck in that fear of, oh my gosh, but what if? What if? So I
Mm,
still cling on to the safe job because I still have
mm.
that little, you know, mum, God love you. I still have mum on my shoulder going, don't you give up that job. And oh gosh.
My mum said the same thing to
Yeah.
me, and
Yeah.
I love her, but they
Mm,
come from a place of care and
yeah.
safety is, and safety, but
Yeah.
it's okay. Like, I think
Yeah.
at some point you've got to back yourself, and
Hmm.
I mean, and beyond the mindset. So mindset absolutely number one, but beyond the mindset, of course, is looking at the numbers,
Yeah.
um, and being open to learning about the numbers as well. So for me, numbers is not my thing. I'm not terrible at maths. I
Mm,
mean, I taught primary, like I'm not abysmal, but at the same time, it's not my strong suit. So I've had to learn. And when you start to look at the numbers in your side hustle, and yeah, I was going to say hobby, but no, that
yeah.
wouldn't make sense. You look at your numbers in your side hustle, you can start to see the cold, hard facts of what you're going to need to do in
Yeah.
order to make this happen. And then you can make a decision based on the facts. Like,
Mm,
can I make this work? Or do I need to have another income stream in there or something like that to get
yeah.
this, working so I can leave that day job that's just not lighting me up anymore.
Yeah. Oh, awesome. That's so cool. So in your, you said you have combined quite a few of your different areas. So you have a background in design. Is that graphic design?
Sort
Sort
of,
of,
a little bit of
sort of.
everything. It's
Yeah.
Bachelor of Design, and then I
Okay.
majored in environmental design, which is sort of like interior design,
Right.
and
Okay.
graphics as well. So graphic design and interiors, essentially. Yep.
Okay. So you've pulled that together, your teaching experience and your love of art. And now you're running this awesome business, which has a whole heap of different facets, right? Because you're not just painting, you've got
Mhm.
a teaching component to your business too.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely.
and is
So,
that's coaching, teaching, lessons? What is that? What do you
oh,
do?
it's a little combination. Oh, I
Yeah.
love that. It's a combination and it has evolved over time. So it started out during COVID actually
Mm.
as online art workshops on
Yep.
Zoom as a way
Okay.
to connect, do something nice. You remember lockdown. Oh, let's not talk about it.
Yeah.
Anyway.
We weren't locked down much here in Queensland though.
Oh,
Well,
this is
yeah.
true. Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes. Sydney was traumatized. Anyway, we're
Mm.
all good. So yeah, so no, it started from that. So it was more in the art teaching space, and now it has evolved more so into the coaching space for new and rising artists looking to make an income out of their art, whether it's a side hustle, full-time gig, whether they're self-taught, hate marketing, all of that jazz. Because I've learned all of this stuff myself. I didn't
Yeah.
go to art college. I don't have a fine art degree. I don't have a degree in marketing. I've learned all of this stuff myself the hard way. And
Mm.
my mission is to help other creatives to tap into that information sooner rather than later so they can make that transition if that's what they're wanting to do.
Yeah. Oh, that's
Mm.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Sounds so
Yeah.
fun.
Lights me up. I'm very,
Oh,
very, I always am so grateful. And I just feel so thankful that the universe
yeah.
has allowed me to call this my job. It's just
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's so cool. Oh, now I just want to change the topic slightly and just ask your opinion on color, wearing color, all things color, because of course we are the Color Pop podcast here. So how like the inspiration in your artworks and things like that, do you draw on certain colors or styles or shapes and pattern? How do you start creating an artwork?
Oh, how do I start creating artwork? Oh,
Mm,
I love that. So for me, generally, I'm painting abstract botanicals, and that seems to constantly pull me back. So
yeah,
that, that means our botanical shapes, but in a way that's not photorealistic or anything like that.
yeah.
Colors, I am generally all the colors. However, pink is a really
Mhm.
big
Yeah,
theme for me. So
yeah.
either a magenta, but like it's hard to describe, not a burgundy magenta, more of like a pink magenta, or a hot pink is basically my compulsory color. And
Mhm.
I've had a lot of people in my space say, oh, I'd love that artwork, but I just don't want the pink. And I've come to a place where I'm like, well, I just don't want to work with you. I'm sorry. Like hot pink, magenta,
Comes with
non-negotiable.
pink or
I'm
nothing.
really sorry. Yeah, we actually can't be friends anymore. Like it's
Yeah.
over. Yeah.
You gotta love pink. Pink's one of my favorites too.
I can tell.
Yeah. Yep, it's through everything, everything. Oh, that's cool. Has color like helped with your fashion style as well, do you think?
Yeah, definitely. So I do a bit of the dopamine dressing. Ignore me today. It's really hot here today. So I'm in a singlet and yeah, so not high color today.
Yes, but you have a
Um
colorful backdrop, so that's
I
cool.
do always. You should see the whole room. It's this like a
Yeah.
kaleidoscope over here.
Mhm.
Yeah, so no, color is definitely makes, improves my mood as well,
Mhm.
brightens me up. So I definitely do the dopamine dressing side of things. But also color and spaces I feel is really, really important. So colorful artwork or cushions or
Yeah.
throws or vases, even flowers with the color in the actual, floral elements, I think can really, really lift a space, improve the joy factor as well. So yeah,
Yeah.
definitely colors very powerful. You
Yeah.
would know that.
Yeah, definitely.
You're across that.
Yeah, yeah. And created a whole business based on it.
Totally.
Oh, that's awesome. Oh, thanks, Ros. We're running out of time, but I just want to ask you a couple more questions. So, if you could give your best advice to any teachers and fellow teachers out there who are running a side hustle or want to run a side hustle, whether it's, in art or the creative arts or something along those lines? What's your best
Mhm.
advice for them?
So the first, I've actually, funnily enough, I've noted down, I did not know that question was coming,
Oh,
but I
really?
have noted down some ideas.
There you
Yeah, yeah.
go.
So I've got three
Mind
steps for
reader.
you. Step number one is to cast your vision, allow yourself to dream, look at the big picture. Where do you want to be in 5 years' time? It's that sort of a question. But when you're doing that activity, to really
Mm.
tune into that and allow yourself to think of all the things. So yes, you might be, I don't know, for me, I'm living in a beach house in Portugal, just so you know, in 5 years time. So allow yourself to really
That's
dream,
amazing.
really think of the things, because if you cap yourself, if you limit yourself at that point, at the
Yep.
vision setting, you're limiting everything. So do that. That's my first step, is the cast the vision, really get a clear idea of where you want to be. Step two is then to take the first baby steps in that direction, just little things, nothing huge, little things, so you're moving in the right direction. And then the third one is to do some work around the self-worth piece,
Mhm.
because if you're not going to be living from this place of joy and happiness and fulfillment in this life,
Yep.
when are you going to be doing that? You know,
Yep.
we only have this one chance and anything can happen any day. So we owe it to the universe, I believe, to make something of our time here.
Ah, that's amazing. Best advice ever. I'm gonna
Yeah.
take all of those on board.
I
I think I'm gonna be in Tuscany in a villa. Yeah, I can wave to
I
you over the border.
was going to say, I think I'm going to be visiting.
Oh, that's so cool. Okay, so I've got one more question, and you kind of touched on it before. So I'd like to ask all of my guests this question at the end. So we're all about empowerment, and we're all about wearing color and dopamine dressing and how color can affect and help your moods. I've got a fly flying around to me.
It's all right. It's good to
Bothering
have
me.
friends.
Yeah. So what color is your favorite color that just inspires you or makes you feel super happy when you wear it, and why?
Oh, I would say my hot pink sort of a
Yeah.
color. Um, it's actually towards that Barbie pink. And I think for me, it's around female empowerment for me. It's just that, like, I'm a woman, like, this is
Mm,
like, and I'm going to stand in my strength as a woman. I think that's why I'm going to be loud and proud. And this is how
yeah.
I am. And I'm not an extrovert either, by the way. So it's, yeah, I think it just represents our, our power as women.
Oh, that's awesome. Love it. Yeah, I'm a big fan of any color pink, any shade of pink. 50 Shades of Pink. That's me.
That's a book. I'll
There
write
we
that
go.
one with you.
Yeah, that would be fun. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for chatting with me today. It was a real pleasure to have you here on the podcast. And hopefully we chat to you again really soon, Ros. Thank you.
Pleasure. Thank you again, Anna. Talk to you soon.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.